Hello there and welcome to my daily current affairs video. And is this toxic Tory MP defecting to Labour really a great move for either Labour or Natalie Elphicke? And if you said to me Wednesday morning that a Tory MP was defecting to Labour today and do it before PMQs, can you guess who? I would have possibly have said someone like Caroline Noakes, Tobias Elwood, or maybe even Alicia Cairns. But if you'd have told me that it's Natalie Elphicke, I would have done a Nick Abbott and stood at the foot of my stairs. I would have never have guessed in a million years. What a time to do it as well, just before PMQs. You could hear the mumblings from the chamber as she took a seat behind Keir Starmer as well. But why bring her into the Labour fold? Now, I'm somebody who leaves my emotions at the door when things like this happen. I try to think, what's the positives for this political short term or long term? Well, short term clearly put our Prime Minister on the back foot, didn't it? And he was flailing around with the same old jokes that haven't worked before, and again, they didn't land this time neither. I'm surprised he didn't press the emergency Jeremy Corbyn smash glass button. Maybe he was going to, but was so flustered he forgot. See, the thing is, I forgot about PMQs today, and as I was busy doing other things, and so I checked YouTube to see if there's something of interest to watch. Well, I noticed James O'Brien and LBC political editor Natasha Clark were picking over the bones of PMQs, where they thought Rishi Sunak looked rattled throughout. Well, that's where I found out about the defection, and I fell off my chair nearly when I heard who it was. But Natasha Clark said something very interesting as to why Labour would have accepted Natalie Elphicke as a Labour MP. She said that with Dan Poulter defecting over the Tories' handling of the NHS, and now with Natalie Elphicke defecting over the Tories' handling of immigration, it gave Keir Starmer a two-pronged attack on the government over the NHS and immigration, which, in a political sense, it does kind of make sense, doesn't it? Now, can you imagine if our Tetchy Titchy starts waffling on about how Labour have no plan to stop the boats, and Keir Starmer he turns around and says, I think the new Labour MP for Dover doesn't agree with you. Also, a Labour lackey defended her defection, as well you would expect, by saying, it's a sign of the progress that we've made that people recognise that on some of the key challenges facing the country, the Tories have failed. Here is someone who is willing to make the significant step of switching across to Keir Starmer's changed Labour Party, and that's something we're very happy to see. But what about long term? Well, I get the feeling her main interest is housing, and John Healey, Labour's Shadow Defence Secretary, who apparently was instrumental in getting her to defect and accompanied her to her seat on Wednesday's PMQs, they had a shared interest in housing policy. They also worked together while he was the housing minister when Gordon Brown was Prime Minister, and shadowed the brief for Labour between 2015 to 2020, and so she's very much on the same wavelength with Labour on housing. And in 2022 she proposed that all private rents be frozen to help renters with the cost of living. She was also part of a cross-party project on building homes for the homeless. She even praised Nye Bevan in February, calling him a post-war hero of a Labour government. She also believes that diplomacy with France would be a far better policy than this ridiculous Rwanda scheme. So again, more closely aligned with Labour, who also think that this Rwanda bill is a waste of money. And with her saying she trusts Labour over this issue, Keir Starmer and his team feel maybe they can get some of those who feel that the small boats are an issue. I have my doubts, if I'm honest, more likely to vote for reform. They also think that it will say to big C Conservatives, if someone who is a small C Tory like Natalie Elphicke is moving to Labour, they should too. Also, this is one of our Tetchy's 5 priorities, so again it probably weakens his position. But with these little tidbits of positives, they're absolutely destroyed by the tidal waves of negatives. She's a staunch extremist and a massive Boris Johnson fan. She was part of the European Research Group. She's also been a critic of Labour policies, and in an article for The Express she called Sir Keir "Sir Softy" and accused them of wanting open borders. And in the article she even said, and I quote, "Not only have Labour got no plan of their own to tackle illegal immigration, they simply do not want to." Remember when she had a spat with England footballer Marcus Rashford, saying he should spend more time perfecting his game and less time playing politics? To which she duly apologised after. And also remember when she turned up at that P&O protest at Dover. She got a pretty rough ride there, and a lot of those protesting thought she was just being opportunistic, and a lot of Labour MPs think she's doing the same here. Apparently she has a 12,000 majority, and in this present climate that's barely comfortable, isn't it? There's also been rumblings of unhappiness within the party as well. Even though they've been disciplined and only a handful have voiced concerns. And also take this with a grain of salt, but wow, the lie, but an apparent shadow cabinet minister said people are upset and angry right across the party about the decision, while another apparently said, logically or politically, we don't need this. I worry that they'll not have done significant due diligence on her. The hard right views are a big red line too. Are we welcoming Nigel Farage next week? Another angry MP allegedly said, most of us on the backbenches struggle to get any contact at all from the Labour leader or his team. Perhaps if we were to stand in front of a few more flags or join the European Research Group. And another MP said allegedly, I think many in the party think it's disgusting that we don't need people like that in the Labour Party, and that she is absolutely vile. Who in the right mind thought this was helpful? While a former minister apparently said, many of us didn't fight momentum only to see our leader welcome reform in the front door. Also then there's the whiff of hypocrisy when it comes to Diane Abbott, isn't there? Still not had the whip restored, and chances are highly likely she won't, because Keir Starmer wants to keep the bullets away from the gun aimed at him if Tories get any whiff of anti-Semitism. You know they will as well, won't they? If I was a desperate Tory staring down the barrel of a horrendous defeat at the polls, I would. Now I could have carried on until a month of Sundays about her past and her excess baggage, but this video would have been well over an hour, and who wants to watch that, eh? But when I heard that she had defected to Labour, I thought, who benefits here? Is this a good move by Keir Starmer? Has he made a horrendous mistake? Has he put short-term gain in front of long-term pain? I don't know. I really don't, but I do get the feeling this could be something that could bite him on the backside. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below, because I always value your opinion. And I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.